All right, guys, this is take 2. We're going to see if this works better for sound with Amy. So let's see if she joins us. We're going to see if this helps it a little. All right, Amy, awesome. I see you on there. I'm going to add you. Okay, guys, so this is a subject that I think is always super interesting. I love talking about it with people because what they have to say is always super interesting. Okay, how's that?
I can hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird background noise. Sherry, Brandy, you guys that are joining us, let us know if you can hear us okay.
You sound good. You don't sound echoey.
Okay. Hi, Heidi. Let us know if you can hear us okay. Heidi just launched a new book over her birthday weekend. Right? Super excited to get that book. Somebody said echo. So are you hearing the echo on my end or Amy? Yeah, we hear you guys saying echo, but who? Oh, it's Amy joined. Okay, let me take this out and see if we can hear it better. Okay, is that better? Okay, is that better? Do you guys still hear a background noise?
You echo now.
Or echo? I think you have to have your earbuds or headphones.
I know. I don't have.
You want to try your Bluetooth ones?
Try. And now there's a weird background noise. Dang it! I can't hear you.
All right, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Now I hear you.
Oh, hang on. No, I can't hear you.
That worked. Oh, and I don't hear an echo.
Oh.
Perfect.
Sweet.
All right, so you guys let us know. Tanya, I see you on there. Sherry, let us know now. Like I have headphones on. Yes. Okay, Angel, thank you. Woo woo. All right, we got it. High five, Amy.
Yay!
All right, awesome. Well, I'm so excited you guys have Amy Ward on. Some of you guys know her, some of you don't. Amy is a mom to 4. 4 kids?
No.
Why do you think you had 4?
Just 2. I don't know, but probably because I complain about them a lot.
No. You have Macy, and then who else? How old is
Valley. Macy's 13 and Valley's almost 8.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know why I thought you had 4. Okay. Well, and then her husband, Jason. They live in Asheville, North Carolina. And what is so cool about Amy, and the reason that I'm so excited to have her on here to share with this particular subject today, is because I've known her now, gosh, has it been 3 years now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And you've had to go through a few different mindset shifts. When I first met Amy, she was going through a really difficult time. She had joined LaBelle, like something tragic happened in her life, like right around the exact same time. And yet she still pushed through and persevered through that. And then over the last couple of years, I mean, their life has completely changed financially. And that takes some adjustment. And what I love about Amy is her heart for the Lord. She and I both share that common thing. And so we have talked many times about how that can sometimes trick your mind into the truth and reality and all the lies that we spin in our own head about money. And so, somebody said, "Where's Jason? We haven't heard anything from him lately." That's because he's busy starting his own company.
Exactly.
She's got him working.
I'm surprised. Yes. Get out of my hair. Go find something to do.
So funny. So basically, like, we were talking just last week, just, catching up with each other. And I was telling her how I just finally started listening to the book by Jen Sincero. And I don't really, I know Amy, like, cursing isn't a big deal to you. I don't really curse. But anyways, the book is called You're a Badass at Making Money or something like that. Or You're a Badass at Making Money. And I have had that book, you guys, literally in my Audible library for probably a year or 2. And I haven't listened to it, I think only because of the title, to be totally honest, because I was like, I probably won't really relate with her because, I don't know, I just thought like she was super crude, but she really isn't. And I really am enjoying it. So I was telling Amy, like, I can't believe I've been waiting this long to read this book. It's so huge. And even though I feel like I've broken through my money mindset in the past, I'm back in a place where I'm like, girl, you've got to, like, get your mind straight again. And I think it's a constant battle. And so that was one of the things that Amy and I were talking about, and she was sharing some of the things that she's found over the years. So before we get started, I want to recommend 2 books to all of you guys that are watching this. If you've never read, so first of all, the first one that I'm going to give you is definitely Christ-centered. It's for people who are believers, you could really read it even if you believe in anything, okay? And that's called Spirit-Driven Success by Danny Johnson, okay? That one was huge for me in shifting my mindset, and I'll have to share with you guys in a minute what I mean. And then the second book right now that I'm listening to is the one I just mentioned, the Jen Sincero book about You're a Badass at Making Money. So I want you guys to definitely, pursue those 2 books. Think and Grow Rich has also been one that's really helped me realize that the possibilities are endless out there, and the only thing stopping me from what I truly want is myself. And so I'm going to start off sharing a little bit, and then I'm going to throw it over to Amy. But I don't know if you guys are like me, but I grew up, I always imagined that I was going to have all this money. I was going to be able to travel the world. I don't know. I just had this feeling that I was going to have a really big house, and I was going to travel all the time. And that was what I felt. And then as I started to get a little bit older, my parents were like, what do you want to be? What are you going to go to college for? You need to know before you go. So you are only there for exactly 4 years. We're only paying for 4 years. And then you need to graduate. And then you need to get a job. And then you need to stick with that job for 30 years. And then you can go to get your master's at night while you have kids and make a little extra money that way. Maybe, do some things at night. So I decided I wanted to be a teacher because my mom was in education. I loved people. I kept hearing people say that I would be a good teacher. So that's just what I did. And when I went to become a teacher, I will remember this moment, and it's pivotal now as I look back. When I was graduating, they had a job fair, and I knew I was moving to Florida. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, West Georgia, and they had a job fair at the end of the year. And I was like, well, I don't really need to go because I'm not going to get a teaching job in Georgia. I'm moving to Florida, so I need to go to that one. But one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, they had this really cool service there for people who are teachers who maybe don't want to go into teaching, but they want to be a trainer for a Fortune 500 company, because we would be really good at speaking in front of people and learning the curriculum and then teaching it to them. And that it just lines up really well with teaching. And she told me, I think I'm going to do that. And you start off making 6 figures. And I was like, what? And I really did think about it for a moment. And then I was like, no, I'm supposed to be a teacher. Right. But I remember thinking maybe that's how I'm going to make all that money. So I've always had a constant battle with that. And then when I became a Christian, for some weird reason, I felt guilty about the money that we had. My husband was doing very well when we first became believers, first got married. He was doing extremely well. And some months he would make more than I did a whole year teaching. And I felt so guilty about it. And looking back now, I was almost a little bit like, oh, good, when we went through our bankruptcy. We're going to start over. We're going to have a budget, and we're going to be a normal family. How warped and crazy is that? But it was the way I was thinking, because for some reason I was thinking that now that I was a Christian and now that I was part of the church, that money was bad, that having money wasn't good, that it meant that you were somewhere in the Bible, I misinterpreted what it said, that somehow if you had riches, that you wouldn't have riches in heaven. That if I had riches here on earth, I would not get, the things that I should get in heaven. That only corrupt and mean people and bad people and selfish people had money here on earth. But here's the reality, guys. I have big goals and big things I want to do. I want to give big. When I get to write 100% tip on a bill, and if you guys don't know what hashtag 100% bill is, 100% tip, that brings me so much joy. Knowing that when that lady or that man looks at that bill once I'm out of the restaurant, they don't even know who I am. They're going to be like, what? She just tipped me the whole bill? That can completely change the night for somebody, the week, the month for them based on their bills. We've been there before. So I know, and I know that if I have money, I can do those things. I know that the more money that I make, the bigger I can give. And I know the more money that I make, not only the bigger that I can give financially, but the more of my time and energy I can give to the things that I care about. For example, I get to volunteer and do something at my church on Saturday that if I had been teaching, I would have been tutoring on Saturday. It's not that teaching's wrong, guys. I'm just showing you a difference of my mindset. If I hadn't taken the chance of what I'm doing now, and I'm able to not have to work for a couple hours on Saturday because I'm financially where I want to be, I'm able to give back to my church and do the things that I want to do. And it goes so much bigger and so much bolder than that. But I'm just kind of laying that out there for you guys. that mindset trick that we do with our own selves. So Amy and I were talking about this. I know that you've been through a lot of that too. So I'm going to throw it over to you, and then I'm going to really try to find my notes because we had some really good questions that I wanted to ask people. So I'm going to throw it over to you.
Gotcha. Okay. My thought process before 3 years ago and starting in this business was exactly the same. I have absolutely always been challenged and struggled with a scarcity mindset. Jason and I got married when we were 19 and 20. We literally did not have a dime when we came back from our honeymoon. Not a dime. And we've always worked really hard. We've always, God has always provided for us, but I definitely had a scarcity mindset, and vacuum cleaner just fell. Had a scarcity mindset, and I was scared of money. I didn't know that I was, but I think that in your brain, you're like, oh yeah, I'd love to have lots of money. I'd love to be able to do whatever I wanted to do. But you really are fearful of it. And so therefore you don't live your life out to the full potential that it could be if you just changed your mindset. So, and the as far as being a Christian, I definitely was in the belief of, I can't be successful because it's going to take away from someone else. Who am I to have anything and everything and lots of cash flow and my finances be great when there are, people that are starving and people living under bridges? And all of that was my mindset. If you're a Christian, you're supposed to be poor, and that's just how it is. And when I read Spirit Driven Success was recommended to me when 3 years ago, it was the first real self-development book that I'd ever read, and it changed everything for me. The whole thought of there are a lot of corrupt people who are greedy, and they are based on power, and all they want to do is grow themselves. Why would God not want you, someone who he knows is going to do good with what he's given you? Why would he not want you in the same positions as those people to counter that? So that was a thought that had never been brought forth in my mind, and it changed everything for me. And then reading this book, I put it off for the exact same reasons that you did. I thought that I wouldn't relate to it, but I found so many disbeliefs about how I felt about income and finances with doing the challenges in this book, and just her outlook on it is amazing. It's changed. When you change your mindset and you allow yourself to dream bigger and do bigger things because you want to do bigger things in the world, and that's your driving force, then you give yourself permission to be successful, I think.
Yeah, I love that you said that. I see you, Heidi, because Heidi Kaufman, that was one of the very first books she read too when she started with this company. And it's a life-changing book, Spirit Driven Success, and even the one that we're reading right now. And there's so many good ones out there. But here was something that I heard when I was listening to the Jen Sincero book this week, and I think you and I were talking about it the other day, Amy, was how we say, you say I love pizza, right?
Yes.
When you say I love pizza, there's no judgment there, right? You're like, I love pizza.
You're not making disclaimers.
Right. When people say to me, was one food that you would never give up, if you could eat one food for every single day for the rest of your life, for me it would be pizza. I love pizza, right?
Yep.
I love money. And yet when I say that, I can even feel right now when I said that, it feels different. You feel wrong. You feel shameful. You feel like it's not okay for you to say I love money, right? Yet I'm saying I love pizza.
Yep.
Not that pizza's any better for me. So there's nothing wrong with saying you love money. You love that you're able to bless others. You love that you're able to make money and take your family on amazing trips. You love that you're able to pay your mortgage easily every single month, which is totally biblical. You love that you're able to pay your bills. You love that you're able to give 10% back to your local church and community. You guys, you've got to change that vibration, that feeling, because that's where, I don't know if you guys can even tell in the inflection of my voice, when I first said I love money, compared to all those other things that I said that money allows me to do, pay my mortgage with ease. I love that I'm able to give 10% back to my church and community. I love that I'm able to give bid at my kids' auction for their school. I feel excited when I say those things. I can feel my energy increase, right? So you've got to get onto the right feeling when it comes to money. The other thing that I love that she brought up, and you guys, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments below if you've ever done this, okay? And I'm just going to make you drop a 1 because there's no judgment here. Have you ever rolled your eyes or said something nasty about somebody who pulls up in a super fancy car? Like, let's say a Rolls Royce or a Maserati, right? They pull up and you're like, psh, that's a ridiculous waste of money. Or psh, that costs, that could pay for somebody's whole year of life, right? Yeah. So if you've ever done that, be honest and drop a 1 in the comments below, right? It is so, I've done it. I would be dropping a 1 in the comments below.
Me too.
Then think about this. How often has somebody complimented you on something and you're like, oh my gosh, I got the best deal on this, right? So I'll give you guys an example. I own a couple of very expensive pairs of shoes, okay? One of them was my husband so graciously got me like addicted to Valentino heels because he bought them for me for when I hit my millionaire award with Lavelle. He was like, you need a fancy pair of shoes to wear on stage. Like, I'm getting you these as a gift. Okay. And I felt really guilty about them because I was like, oh, my team's going to see them. What if they can't afford it? This feels weird. Well, then they're the most freaking comfortable pair of shoes I've ever owned for heels. So then I bought a couple more, right? But when people compliment me on them, I go, oh, thank you. And I don't say much. But then I was wearing these boots the other day that I literally got like on clearance many years ago for like $20. And somebody complimented me on them the other day and I go, oh my gosh, I got these for $20. Can you believe that? It was such a great deal. Like I got more excited about telling her that. Yeah, it's like we justify our shopping deals. And you guys, listen, shopping is shopping. So it doesn't really matter. And there's nothing wrong with having things that are nice. And there's nothing wrong with having things that you get at a great deal. Like we have to stop the judgment, but the judgment has to stop within us, right? Yep. And so that's generally something that you're portraying or you're putting out to others that's actually really on you. And I love what you said, Amy, that God needs more of us. I mean, he knows the gifts, the talents, and the desires that he put upon your heart. He doesn't put those things there unless he knows that you can achieve them. Then it's your choice to achieve them. You can sit back with those gifts and talents. I mean, here's a great example. Amy sings, you guys. Some of you might not know this about her. Some of you, if you follow her social media, you know because you get to see her. Not only does she sing, she sings barefoot. She's amazing at singing. And I got the honors of getting to see her one morning at church when I was in Asheville, North Carolina, at her church singing. And you could just tell, like, she loves it, right? But how many other people out there have an amazing voice, an amazing gift that God gave them, and they're choosing to not use it because they're too scared to get on that stage. They're too scared to use it, or they think they're taking something away from somebody else, or, oh, there's only a few people in our church, so if I take that spot, then somebody else can't have it, or they might think that I'm just trying to show off, or I don't know if I want to be in front of those people while they're judging me on what I'm wearing and what I'm doing and how I'm praising God and being crazy with my hands up. Right? So now you're not using the gift and talent that he gave you and the desire upon your heart because you're worried about what other people are going to think. So you're choosing to not have the amazing, glorious opportunity. Right? Yep. So what is something else, Amy, that you feel like has really helped you? Like, remember how she had like a lot of exercises and things to do in both the books? I felt like that really helped me personally. Like when I go through those exercises, I get back on track pretty fast.
Me too. I think that the exercises were really, I mean, listening to her as she's speaking is incredible enough, but the exercises that we do at the end for the personal growth portion of it, just like you were saying a minute ago when I have my notebook in front of me that I did all the exercises in, and it was like writing down all of your negative beliefs about money. Like, what did your parents instill in you about money? Mine was, you only save it. You are super frugal. You have to be responsible with it. Just because you have checks doesn't mean that you have money. that was one from my dad. That you are to have a steady, secure job so that you can continuously provide for your family. I think that that's something that was definitely instilled in both Jason and I, was exactly what you said. You go and you get, somewhere where you can stick for 30 years and you think on the one end, like, I'm doing so great. I've got this good steady job. It's providing for my family. It's doing everything that it should. And then you realize that it's like you're building someone else's dreams when you're doing that. And you can have dreams of your own. And that was a big shift for me in writing all of those negative thoughts about money down. And, that wanting to be successful means that I'm greedy. Wanting to be able to travel with my family means that, I don't care about anybody else. Those types of things. And then writing the exact opposite of all of them really helped me embrace why why I'm able to do anything at all, because I want to help people. I want to tip big. I want to be able to help any single person without even having a thought. My best friend and I talk about that all the time. Just not even having a thought about somebody needing help and just doing it. And I did that before, but I could never help the way that I have been able to now. You know, we were blessed enough to be part of helping our church get a new building, and it needed a lot of work, and you know, there's a lot of money that has to come in with that, and I was able, because of my mindset shift, I mean, where I could tithe $100 before, I can tithe quadruple that now. That's what it's for. That's what I want it for. And one of the biggest things, and she says it very early in the book. She says, this is probably the biggest statement that hit me, that I stuck with as I was continuing through the book. But she says, if you are here on earth to be the grandest, most generous version of yourself, which you are, and if that costs money, which it does, it is your duty to get rich. And I really took that and ran with it. Like, I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to. I'm going to do good with this. And that's what my purpose is, or the opportunities wouldn't be there for me, you know? So that's changed everything for me. Everything.
That's so huge. That was Jen Cicero, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I think she dropped
and
that
you got,
like the first chapter.
yeah, it was like very early on. And
Yeah.
I love that you said the exercise of what was your money mindset, and in writing the correct way now.
Yeah.
You guys, one of those things for me was, and a lot of you guys know this, we're still, you know, trying to save in our money to be able to have this, but I want a second home in Park City, Utah. And I feel like over the last 4 years, I've put it out there, and then I felt guilty, right? Or then we've gotten a large sum of money, and I decided like, oh, we shouldn't spend our money on that because this needs to be done, or we should do this. So what I did this year in January was I wrote down, what would I use that home for? And when I wrote down what I would use that home for, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever written myself, to be honest, because it was about the memories, the generational memories that I want to see happen there, even when I'm gone. I want my kids to be able to use that home and this home that we have in Florida to be able to come back together. My 2 boys and their whole families, and that they want a vacation, they can use it. And that if they want to gift it to their pastor for a week, they can gift it to their pastor for a week. And that I know some single moms and people right now who don't get to go on any trips. Like, what if I could give them my home for a week and they could have a trip of a lifetime that they never thought was possible? That cost me nothing because it's my house, right? I mean, there were so many beautiful things that I was able to write that I really had never taken time to think about. And instead, sometimes when I say to my friends, guys, my own friends, and some of you guys can relate this, or family members, I'm like, I want a house in Person. They're like, why would you want a house where you have to go back to the same spot all the time? Like, wouldn't you rather travel all over? Or wouldn't you rather be able to go anywhere you want? Well, yeah, I want to make enough money where I can have a second house and I can travel wherever I want. Doesn't mean I have to always go back there, but I want to be able to bless other people with that house. I want my kids to be able to have that house. I want it to be a forever home that we have. And so I think we're so quick to take the opinions of others and let it sit on us, right?
Absolutely.
And I heard that a lot over the last 2 years about why would you want a second home there? That's not easy to get to from Florida. That's not an easy spot. How are you going to take care of it if you're not close to it? I mean, you guys, you have no idea all the things that I heard, and it did pull me back. And I've noticed a difference in my financial income. I've noticed a difference in my excitement for my monthly or my weekly checks. Because before, I had this great purpose. I was building up this money on the side for that big thing. So you've got to be aware of the things around you. The other thing that I absolutely love, and I can't remember if it was in Spirit Driven Success or the Jen Cicero book, but this question was huge for me. It said, why do you deserve money? Why do you deserve money? And I want you guys to write that down and take time over the next week to write that into your journal. It's going to feel really awkward for you. Yes, Karen, I'm going to host retreats there for sure. But yes, write that down. Why do you deserve money? It's going to be very uncomfortable for those of you that don't have a great money mindset, that need to fix that. Yeah. But once you get used to it, it is something now that I journal once a month. Why do I deserve money? And I love thinking about all the amazing things that I'm going to do with it, you know? And some of them are things I want, and that's okay. Right? Like that's the other part that I had to learn to get over. And so I know we suggested those 2 books. I want to suggest one more thing that has really been awesome for me as well is it's an app, and it's the Secret Money app. So a lot of you guys might know what the Secret is, but they have the Secret app as well, which is a great one. It has lots of great daily affirmations. It's crazy how often the Secret app daily whatever lines up with my devotion for the day. But they also have the Secret Money app, and although I don't really use it the way you're supposed to, like you're supposed to actually deposit money into it, pretend money, and then like give yourself like, I'm going to go buy this and I'm going to go do this. It really helps to reset your mind. But I actually just use it for the monthly affirmations. Once a month, it will literally send me a ton of affirmations, and I screenshot and save them into my phone, and I put them into my affirmations photo album that I have on my phone. That's like the picture of the house that I want in Utah, and the things that I want to do for my church, things that my kids want to achieve, like whatever our things are that we're going for. I put those in there and I read them to myself, and I start to remember that I need to keep my mind focused on that it's okay to have money. It's actually good to have money. God desires me to do big things in this world, and I can't play big when I'm achieving small.
Yep.
So I can't play big when I'm achieving small. So just think about that, guys, as you think about why do you deserve money. So Amy, any last and final thoughts or things that you want to make sure we touch on?
I think that was mostly it. Just coming away from that scarcity mindset and knowing that just because I want to live a big life and do a lot for people doesn't mean that I am icky. I think that it's like you gotta decriminalize money. You have to, it's not shameful, it's not bad. Everything costs money, everything. And I think, obviously a lot of the mindset that we get is like, as long as you have a roof over your head and as long as you have food on the table, you are being provided for and you're happy, and that's what life is all about. And it is very true. I absolutely, like I said, up until 3 years ago, I couldn't even go to lunch after church without checking my bank account first to make sure it wasn't going to take us in the red. I've lived most of my adult life absolutely hitting the red before payday. So I have, being able to switch that gear is incredible. It really is. To know that you're not a bad person for wanting to have things and wanting to give things.
I love that. That was awesome. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, of course. All right, guys, please make sure that if you think that this is valuable to people, that you hit that share button, share this with them. I mean, honestly, it is something that I have to listen to, remind myself, and work on every single month. And I know a lot of you are going to be feeling the same way, but definitely it's important to make sure that you are working on that. I almost feel like our brain sometimes like needs like a workout, right? So it's almost like I know that every 2 to 3 months I need to listen to something on money mindset because I get lazy again. It's kind of like my workout. Like I have to change up my workouts because I get bored and lazy. So, all right, Amy, well, thanks so much for sharing with us.
Thanks for having me.
You guys have a great day. Make it a great day for others. Bye.